Are you thinking about buying a house this year, but feeling a little overwhelmed and maybe a little confused about how to even get the process started? Well, I'm here to tell you that you're not alone. So many of my clients that I've helped throughout the years were in the same boat as you. Where to begin? Do you sit down with a lender first? Do you go to open houses? Do you pick up your phone and call the number on the sign and meet the realtor at the house? Where do you start? There's so much information out there that it's hard at times to get through all the fat, to get to the meat and potatoes, to find these steps you need to take to get your home buying journey started. Well, that's why today I'm here to give you the 4 steps that will give you the knowledge and confidence you need to kickstart your home buying journey off on the right foot this year. And in order to not overwhelm you and give you too much information, I'm going to break this down into 1 step a week. So for the next 4 weeks, I hope you check back in to share, as I share these videos with you. But today we're going to start with step 1, which I think is the most important step, and that is meeting with your realtor. Now, before I break down what that actually means, let me introduce myself. I'm Steve Jamrock with Realty Executives Premier, and for over 22 years, I've helped home buyers and sellers throughout all of Northwest Indiana achieve their real estate goals. Now, if you made it this far in the video, thank you. If this is your first time on my site, I'd be honored if you hit that subscribe button. If you like this content, please give me a thumbs up. And of course, share this with anybody you may know who might be in the market to purchase a home this year. And if you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comment box below. I will respond to you. I'm not going to be able to answer all your questions here in this video. So again, any questions, comments, leave them in the comment box below. I'd greatly appreciate that. So step 1, meeting with your realtor. And for the purpose of this video, I'm going to be your realtor. I hope you like the content enough that we form this relationship and you will be calling me to set up step 1 here in the near future. But why is meeting with your realtor first so important? To me, it's important because we are going to sit down and formulate that plan of attack together on how to achieve your real estate goals. And in my experience, those buyers who, home buyers who take time to formulate a plan, put it into action, are much more successful and have a smoother transaction than the home buyers who just pick up the phone, call that random agent, meet them at the house, and let's go forward from there. When we sit down, the first thing we're going to do is kind of get to know each other. I want to know about your home buying journey, not just what areas you're looking at or the price ranges or what you want in a house, but what's your motivation into buying a house? You know, is this your first house? Are you moving up, moving down? Is this your 14th house? Whatever the case may be. We're going to get into your timelines. You know, are we running into a lease that's expiring? Are you on a job relocation? Do you have another house to sell? Really get everything that could be involved in a transaction, put it all together, and then start formulating a plan from there on the next steps that you need to take. It's really important just so we have all that information in place. We'll also take a deep dive into the buyer agency agreement. Now, the buyer agency agreement is a new law that went into place in 2024 that requires home buyers who want realtor representation to enter into a buyer agency agreement with the realtor of their choice prior to touring any home. So in order for you to truly understand what you're getting into when you're signing that buyer agency agreement, which is actually a contract, to work with that agent, I want to make sure you understand it. I want to make sure that you have the time to sit down, digest it, ask any questions that you need to know before we start working together. In that buyer agency agreement, we'll discuss what I'm going to do for you, the confidentiality that I owe you, the ethical treatment I owe to all parties involved there. We'll discuss the compensation the realtors receive, how that compensation is paid and when it is due. We'll discuss, again, talked about agency and ethical treatment, but again, just take a deep dive in that buyer agency agreement so that you truly understand what you're getting into before we start your home buying search. We'll discuss in detail the pre-approval process and lending process, or how you plan to pay for the property. We will go ahead and also talk about other costs involved with the house, out-of-pocket expenses, insurance, appraisals, home inspections, the timing of the transaction, what happens once you get an offer accepted. We'll talk about scheduling showings and showing etiquette. And most importantly, we're going to start setting expectations with each other. Not only realistic expectations on your home search, but realistic expectations on communicating with each other and forming a trust and rapport with each other. I think that is what is really so important about this first meeting with each other in step 1. forming that bond, forming that trust that will allow you to feel comfortable enough to start asking those tough questions that otherwise you may not feel like you're comfortable asking. Again, meeting with that realtor allows us to form that bond. So many buyers, I just never, and I'm sorry, I'm going to go off a little tangent here. I never understood why when buying your biggest financial transaction, your biggest financial asset, you would just call somebody randomly off of a phone. Let's sit down and make sure that we are compatible with each other and start building a little bit of trust. This is a big moment. You wouldn't go into a surgery without meeting your surgeon first, right? So let's sit down, form a rapport, build some trust before we get out there and going. And once you finish with this meeting, I'm confident you will understand the home buying process, the home buying journey, and what steps you need to take when you walk out that door, the next steps in the process to make sure that we can get you into the house of your dreams. Now, step 2, next week, we're going to deep dive into the pre-approval process and talk about mortgage lending and lenders and the importance of using local lenders. I don't want to get too detailed here. So again, next week's going to be all about the pre-approval process. So thanks for watching. Again, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box below, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.